Hello, my dear students. I once again welcome you for the 6th revision class. Now, in this revision class, we shall take on the new topic, that is the 5th chapter on the human rights of the subject PEIC. In this presentation, we shall discuss the provisions and features of international human rights, the special programs for women's development, the concept of women empowerment, the human rights of child, and the features of employee rights. Already this topic has been explained in the classroom, and we shall once again revise the chapter. We shall discuss the important headings and we shall solve the important questions which are asked in the examination. Now let us first discuss on the question, state the various provisions under human rights. The provisions under international human rights are right to make living, right to privacy, right to property, right to debate, right of speech, no sexual harassment, sexual and productive rights. Now, let us discuss about the second question, which reads like this. List the features of international human rights. The features of human rights are prevention and punishment of crime, elimination of human torture, provisions of rights of a child, rights of prisoners and disabilities. It works for peace, it strengthens the democracy, and it protects children against sexual exploitation. Now, let us see the next question. List the special programs for women's development from the government. The Government of India has provided some special acts or programs for the women development, and these programs are the Family Court Act 1954, the Special Marriage Act 1954, the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act 1971, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976, the Criminal Law Act 1983, Commission of Sati Act 1987, and Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. The next question. Explain Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Dowry Prohibition Act 1961 came into existence during the year 1961. The definition of the dowry is like this. Dowry means any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly by one party to another party in the marriage. The Act is applicable to all Indians without any consideration of caste, creed, or religion. The question arises, why there is a need of dowry prohibition? The dowry is a social evil having relation with property rights of women. This evil has taken away the peace in every family. Hence, it has been a serious concern to everyone. Under the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the list of presentations or gifts to the bride shall be maintained by the bride. And secondly, the list of presents shall be appeared at the time of marriage shall be in writing. The list shall contain brief description of each present. The list should contain the approximate value of the presents. The list shall contain the name of the person who has given the present, and the list shall be signed by both the bride and the bridegroom. According to the dowry prohibition rules, no person shall give dowry, no person shall demand any dowry from the parents of bride or bridegroom, no person shall arrange marriage with expenditure more than 15,000 rupees, no person shall display the gifts given to the bride or bridegroom, no person shall serve more than 2 meals, etc. The punishment if he avoids this act. Any person who violates the law shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term of 6 months or with a fine of rupees 5,000 or with both. Next act, Domestic Violence Act 2005. In the examination, it is asked as explain Domestic Violence Act 2005. This act came into existence during the year 2005. Let us first see the meaning of the domestic violence. If you are beaten up, threatened, or harassed in your home by a person with whom you live in the same house, then you are facing domestic violence. This act aims to protect the rights of women within the relationship. Under this act, the person with whom you are living in the same house commits any one of the following acts of violence against you, then custody will be considered as a domestic violence against women. The violences may be physical violence such as beating, slapping, hitting, kicking, etc. Social violence such as forced sexual intercourse, child sexual abuse, etc. Verbal and emotional violence such as insults for not having male child or for no bringing a dowry, threat to commit suicide, etc. Economic violence such as not providing money for maintenance, not providing food, cloth, medicines, etc. The protection of women from this act gives the right to claim protection and assistance against domestic violence. Let us discuss the next question. Explain the concept of women empowerment. Women's empowerment creates sufficient opportunities for women to undergo and to have self-awareness, know their strengths and capacity building. The concept of women empowerment was introduced at the International Conference of Women in 1985 at Nairobi. Women empowerment is concerned with enhancing the spiritual, political, social and economic strengths of women and women communities. In India, women empowerment emphasizes the enhancement of social functioning and social involvement of women by the quantitative and qualitative changes in the fields such as education, employment, healthcare, etc. Once the women are educated, employed, and healthy, the redistribution of social power and controlling of resources in favor of women can be accomplished over a period of time. Hence, the necessary steps are taken by the Government of India to eliminate the discrimination against women in education, employment, healthcare, economic and social life. Now, let us discuss the next question. Who is a child? List the rights of the child. Let us first see the meaning of the child. A legal definition of child generally refers to a minor, otherwise known as a person younger than the age of majority. Coming to the human rights of the child, the rights are like this: right to life, right for nationality, right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of thought and religion, right to education, right to freedom of association, right to benefit from social security, right to standard of living, right to the employment, and right to the facilities for the treatment of illness, etc. Next question. Explain Right to Education Act. Actually, this act is called as RTE briefly. The Constitution Act 2002 inserted Article 21A in the Indian Constitution to provide free and compulsory education of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 as a fundamental right. The Right to Education Act came into effect on 1st April 2010. The RTE Act provides for the right of children to free and compulsory education till completion of elementary education in a neighborhood school. It makes provision for a non-admitted child to be admitted to an age-appropriate class. It specifies the duties and responsibilities of governments, local authority, and parents. It lays down the norms and standards relating to teaching and building and infrastructure. It provides for appointment of trained teachers. It provides for development of curriculum in relation with the values specified in the Constitution. It prohibits the physical punishment and mental harassment. It avoids screening procedures for admission of children. It avoids capitation fee. It avoids private tuition by teachers, and it prohibits running of schools without recognition. Now the last heading in this presentation, the question is state the features of employee rights. The features of employee rights are as follows. First one, they protect the interest of all employees. Next one, it prevents and punishes the crime against employees. Thirdly, it eliminates partiality in the workplace. Fourthly, it provides the scope for employee privacy. Fifth one, it provides the protection to have a private life outside the job. Sixth one, it eliminates the employee torture. Seventh one, it works for employee-employer benefits. Eighth one, it provides security in the job. Ninth one, it promotes minimum comforts to all employees. And last one, the employee rights protects the human dignity at workplace. So with this, we shall conclude the discussion in the form of first part. Now we shall continue the same chapter in the second part with the intellectual property rights. So thank you to all the students for patient hearing.